We got some big news to go over, a massive rumor and some really cool announcements for games that are playable right now. So we'll go over all of this. Before we do, if you do enjoy daily gaming news, Xbox news, make sure to hit the subscribe, share, and like. For now, let's get into it. All right, so we're going to start off here with a major rumor that is going around. We'll know by the end of the day, potentially, whether this is true or not. And this has to do with a major PlayStation IP and a major PlayStation game that could be going multi-platform, which potentially would include Xbox. It sounds like the God of War IP and a God of War game is coming out. It's going to be announced, and it probably is going to be releasing this year. It's going to be a spin-off in the series, a 2.5D Metroidvania game, and potentially it's going to be multi-platform. They may show it off today at the PlayStation State of Play. This is a lot of people are talking about this, but it seems to somewhat falling into the bottom of the barrel with some of the headlines. This here that it has been speculated for some time that the God of War will have a 2.5D Metroidvania style spin-off. We've heard about this in the past, and the game would return to ancient Greece with the players controlling Deimos and Kratos, his brother, before the latter became the God of War. And insiders Nate the Hate and Jeff Grubb have both commented on this rumored spin-off of the franchise. And according to Grubb, the possibility of the game appearing at the showcase is high, and it's also an imminent release. Now, that isn't the major story here. It being an imminent release, I would not be shocked. Like, PlayStation's output from their first party perspective has not been great over the last number of years, and just in terms of being able to have multiple games and multiple IPs out there throughout the entire year. Basically, they've been broken down to one a year. I think 2026 and going forward, we'll finally start to see that change, where games that have been in development are going to start coming out. And I will not be shocked if they come out here at the State of Play, announce a new God of War 2.5 Metroidvania game, which I would love because I really do enjoy Metroidvania games. It'll be along the veins of a game like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I'm all for that. The big story here, though, is that this could be multi-platform. Nate the Hate, who is an insider who gets a lot of stuff correct, says that the rumored 2D God of War could be multi-platform. Here is what Nate the Hate does officially say here about the release: that all I can say is this: when talk of the 2D God of War first started last year, I heard whispers that it was being considered for a multi-platform release. Whether that consideration evolved into an active plan, I don't know. And we've seen PlayStation put games multi-platform. We've seen PlayStation expand their ecosystem, put games onto PC. In fact, last year, I believe it was last year, they put a massive IP, their biggest IP basically right now, Horizon, as they continuously make games for that, on the Nintendo Switch. Did not come to Xbox. I wouldn't be shocked if that one does eventually at some point land on Xbox. We also saw them put Helldivers 2, which is a game that they funded. You can call it a second party game. They don't own the studio. They don't own Arrowhead that actually made the game. That game landed on Xbox. Nobody thought in a million years that PlayStation would ever make that move and put one of their exclusive titles onto the Xbox platform. If this were to happen, this would be bigger than all of those, because God of War, as we know, it's a staple in the PlayStation franchises, staple in the PlayStation portfolio, the classic one going all the way back to the PlayStation 2 days. And it would be pretty insane if you were to see Kratos on Xbox or even on the Nintendo Switch. Now, regardless if this happens or not, I don't actually personally care. I would probably end up playing it either way, whether that would be on a PlayStation or later on down the line, because I would take a big guess here that if it doesn't end up launching on Nintendo or on Xbox, it will be on PC. And then I'll play it on PC, or I'll play it on the next Xbox via Steam. Like, who knows? There'll be so many different ways to play this game. But if it does end up being an actual official multi-platform release where you can go into the Xbox store or the Nintendo eShop and download and play this will be one of the biggest news stories, I think, of the entire year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here, as it would be, I don't think it will happen, but if it does, it'll be a big move here from PlayStation. And I think it's a great thing overall. They'll sell way more copies if they do this. They'll make a ton more money off of it. Maybe what they're thinking about with potentially doing this is that a 2.5 Metroidvania game isn't going to sell like hotcakes it's gonna do decent, but it's not gonna sell like crazy. I mean, we can take a look at Prince of Persia, what they did with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which is a phenomenal game, phenomenal Metroidvania platformer. It didn't do well, and that probably has led to so many things trickling down the line at Ubisoft, which we have seen come out after that, especially with the Prince of Persia IP. Maybe Sony is looking at this and saying, yeah, we will sell an okay amount of games, but they really want to make a ton of money off of this, because developing a 2.5D side scroller, it's going to cost you less money in development, and you want to have a huge margin on that game. One way to do that: put it everywhere. Put it on Xbox, put it on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 2, put it on PC on day one, and it'll sell way more than just locking that down to the PlayStation console. So we'll see if this happens. It would be pretty crazy news if it does. People are talking about it, but it doesn't really seem to be getting a ton of traction, so there may not be too much there to that rumor. The other thing in Xbox news here that did happen was they celebrated the Xbox Excellence Awards, the 2025 Excellence Awards, where they just give you kind of like the top games in different categories. So we'll take a look at this. Pretty interesting stuff here. One of the things that has surprised me here is some of the games here on the list of the daily active users. So they have store rating, player engagement, daily active users, and units sold. Start off here with store rating. Now, these are just listed in alphabetical order. There's actually no numbers here as to what is number 1 or number 2, but just the top three here that they have in alphabetical order. You have store rating: Call of Duty, Black Ops 7, Clair Obscur. Crime Scene Cleaner is up there for one of the highest store rating games. Continue down here. Final Fantasy 16 is up there. You have Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, which is cool to see. Player engagement: Borderlands 4, Digimon Story Time Stranger, Dynasty Warrior Origins, and College Football 26 in there as well. FC 26, MLB The Show is in there. It's a first-party PlayStation game on the list. You even have NHL 26, which I'm shocked, because the NHL games usually don't sell that well, even though I think they're one of the better EA Sports games that are out there. Daily active users. Now, this is an interesting one. Avowed is on this list, and I would have thought Avowed would have had a decent amount of active users at launch, but then quickly dwindling out there. But it is there in terms of daily active users on, again, alphabetical order, so we don't know how high it is on the list, but it is on the list. You got Call of Duty, of course, Marvel Rivals, Forza Horizon 5, Helldivers 2, so those are some of the big ones. Units sold: Arc Raiders is there, Assassin's Creed Shadows is up there, again, another data point pointing towards this game actually doing well. You have EA Sports games are always in the top for units sold, so lots of good stuff there. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. So they gave out the excellent awards, and those are some of the top games in there. Specifically, when it comes to player engagement, it's the games with the highest average hours per player within the first 6 weeks of release. And then daily active users, it's games, expansions, or major updates with the highest single day active users in 2025. And you may notice games that weren't released in 2025 on this list. That's because they got a significant update last year. So yeah, Avowed, I guess when that did launch on Xbox itself, it had a huge move. I forget if Avowed was great on Steam. I don't think it was as good as people had expected. But of course, Steam isn't the only place where you can find data on these games. With the Game Pass and everything, Avowed is up there. I had obviously a big boom for people who did play it when it did launch here in 2025. And since we just talked about Assassin's Creed Shadows, we've been hearing about the Black Flag remake, and then we got news that it was delayed. But now this is popping up, and I don't know if this means that it's not actually officially delayed, because I don't think we have official confirmation from that, or if they're going to put this out before the actual release of the game. It is the Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remaster art book hardcover is actually up for pre-order on Amazon UK. And one of the things here, when we heard about games being pushed out, being delayed, is that this potentially got pushed to between April 2026 and March 2027. So maybe it's coming out in April, and then they're putting out the art book a month in advance. So they've done stuff like this before, I believe, where after a game has been announced, they have like an art book or something that comes up before the actual release of the game. So we're potentially getting an announcement for this game pretty soon. Maybe it'll be at the state of play. You never know. Just because the fact that it's showing up here on Amazon, maybe this is one of the big third-party games that's going to be announced at that show. I think the state of play today is going to be very good. I would definitely tune in. It's an hour plus, so they're going to have a lot of stuff to end up showing off. Diablo 2 Resurrected got a Warlock class for the 30th anniversary. This is the first new class added to the game, I think 25 years. Pretty big announcement here. A lot of Diablo fans are extremely happy with Diablo 2 Resurrected, and then now getting some more content and a new class and everything. So pretty cool stuff there. It's the 30th anniversary for Blizzard. There's going to be a lot of big gaming Blizzard news, a lot of big updates to their games. We're going to see a lot of cool stuff come out of Blizzard. And we got this here. They introduced the Warlock to Diablo 2 Resurrected, marking the first new class added to the game in 25 years. And the addition arrives as a part of the franchise's 30th anniversary celebrations and represents a significant expansion for a title long regarded as a defining entry in the action RPG genre. This announcement honestly is making me want to jump back in and play this game. I haven't played Diablo 2 in so long. I haven't played the Resurrected yet. So now may be the time to jump in. They say in Diablo 2 Resurrected, the Warlock is portrayed as a figure deeply entangled with corruption and forbidden knowledge. Rather than seeking divine intervention, the class fantasy centers on a calculated willingness to wield dark forces for the greater good. And according to the lead game producer Matthew Sederquist, the character was designed to reflect the morally complex choices that have always defined Diablo's 2 tone and structure. Then from the gameplay perspective, the Warlock revolves around summoning, binding, and consuming demons, and players can call upon 3 core demon types: the Goatman, the Tainted, and the Defiler, and each demon offers distinct strengths and behaviors, encouraging experimentation in how encounters are approached. So pretty cool stuff there. The other thing that was announced with all of this is that this game, Diablo 2 Resurrected, is now in Xbox Game Pass. So if you want to go check it out in, I believe it's in premium, so it'll be in premium or whatever subscription you're on, premium or above, it should be there. I don't think it's Play Anywhere though, so that's one of the weird things that Xbox has to continue to work out, is their Blizzard games have to have that Play Anywhere feature. I mean, they own Blizzard, they own Battle.net. Just integrate everything into one place rather than having to have that separation between console and PC and stuff. So that part's kind of stupid, but it is there in Xbox Game Pass if you want to download it and try it. I'm thinking I will give this a go because it has been a long time since I did play. And finally, Highguard. I think a lot of people saw this coming, and I feel bad for the development team and the studio, because this is a game that basically from the start almost seemed like it was set up to fail with everything that Jeff Keighley was doing. I don't think Jeff Keighley did anything intentionally. I actually think Jeff Keighley played the game, liked it, and was like, yeah, I really want to promote this game, and I hope that it does end up helping. So they gave Wildlight and Highguard the last spot at the Game Awards. It just backfired completely, as people saw that, didn't really like the trailer, and then just piled on the negativity towards the game, which I think has had an effect on its overall success. But they're having layoffs here at Wildlight. Now, the game isn't shutting down as of now, but it does look like there are a lot of the team has been laid off. So first of all, it says Wildlight, Highguard lays off staff according to a LinkedIn post. This one here says, unfortunately, along with most of the team at Wildlight, I was laid off today. We also have a bunch of other people here who have shown that they were laid off. This is LinkedIn. You have a few people here. There's 4 posts here, but I'm sure that isn't those aren't the only people, but they just mentioned that we were working at Wildlight, what they've done. One person says they were excited that there's still so much content that hasn't been put out yet, that they have been laid off. And then Wildlight themselves did come out and said this: today, we made an incredibly difficult decision to part ways with a number of our team members while keeping a core group of developers to continue innovating on and supporting the game. We're proud of the team, talent, and the product we've created together. We're also grateful for players who gave the game a shot and those who continue to be a part of our community. Now, again, it's not too shocking after we saw the quick fall off of players from this game after its initial launch. Actually had a strong initial launch. A lot of people jumped in and tried it and then fell off. The thing here with a game like Highguard is that they already came out and said they don't need a big player base for this thing to survive. Right now on Steam, it's like just over 2,000 people playing it. The problem is it's free to play and you can have 1 million players playing it, but if they aren't making money off of microtransactions and those people aren't buying anything within the store, then it really is, they're kind of screwed in that sense. So I wonder if that is what's happening right now, is that they're just, nobody's purchasing microtransactions, even though they said they could be okay with a small player base. If nobody is buying anything, the game will not be able to continue. The other thing is here, they apparently have a lot of content to continue to drop. So I wonder how long they're going to be able to sit there, lose money on the game, hoping that it will eventually pick up and then eventually start being profitable. How many months are they going to be able to do this before they have to shut it off? It's an unfortunate tale for this game, because I think the general consensus around it is that it's a decent game, needs work. It's nothing terrible, it's nothing great, but there definitely is potential there, and it would be a game that could carve out a nice niche of gamers. But as of right now, a lot of people there are being laid off, and that is because the game just isn't doing well. But I'm going to end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.